What's great with you today, man? Where your energy up? This is Namaste Thug, True Heart on the Guard. And if you haven't checked out that website yet, namastethug.com, please do so and set up your free consultation to see if my services actually can work for you. This morning, I'm on Swanee Lake. I took a couple of days just to disconnect from the rat race and just come to the country and just to unwind and reconnect with myself. And this morning, a goddess texted me, asked me a couple of questions to answer. The first one was, what does freedom look like for me day to day with relationships and the roles I've taken with God? What freedom looks like for me is the ability to adjust each moment based on my new findings of actually what freedom is. Freedom to me is not being in restraints or the box of what society wants me to think, wants me to believe. Because right now, the myth of God is it's in the epigenetics, meaning it's no longer in our DNA, it's in our culture, it's in the stuff we watch on TV. It's not coming from our ancestors, the second reign of Homo sapiens that came out of Africa. And understanding what God is. Our colonizers, our slave masters gave us the concept of what God was. They want us to believe that it's not melanated. It has blue eyes and blonde hair. They want us to believe that if we see God, we can't live. Understanding that God is within, God is within us. If we look and it says meditate and know that I am God. So we in the concept of looking outside of ourselves for God, we can never find it when it's inside of ourselves. And then the second question was, with this freedom, how has it been with this freedom, how has it been able me to walk in that perspective? Me being a Reiki master, me helping people through mental health, me being a health and wellness coach, I understand our perspective forms our everyday reality. So if we have a perspective that something outside of me is coming to save me and it hasn't happened yet, we're going to start looking within ourselves like we're doing something wrong. Once again, it goes back to the epigenetics. If we look at the beginning, the Gnostic Christians said, knowing God is knowing yourself. This came before the Catholic Church came in and made it a heresy to think that way. So now the modern day Christians have us looking outside of ourselves for that answer, for that resolve, for that inner peace. That's why so much turmoil, because we don't feel that connection within. We don't feel soothed. We don't feel nurtured from within because we was taught to look without. They switched the Gnostic Christians with looking within and know that you're God with the Babylonian mystery God, something that we can't see, something we don't can't quite identify with, and it fills us up with fear. If we're looking at something outside of ourselves to save us, I can see why you will become an atheist, because the way things are going right now, you would think there's no way possible there could be a God because everything is going on. But when your perspective change and realize that God is within, you have to go within and make that change. Each breath you take, your consciousness, the moment to moment, can change your perspective once you do that inner work. Once we release that belief system that was given to us by our oppressors that made us feel like being melanated wasn't wonderful. Once we get back into that and we meditate, we do our research, look up Gnostic Christians, look up their principles, look up the principles of Maat. That's what our ancestors believed in before we came over to Western civilization. So right now is the time to get back to yourself, meditate, and allow the ancestors to pour into you to get the information to get out of that poverty mentality, get out of that slave mentality, get out of that mentality that something outside of you is going to save you. That's not true. That's going to keep us in that circle. Once again, the epigenetics. That means it's no longer in our DNA. is based on our culture. And our culture is not enriching us, it's not uplifting us, and it's definitely not empowering us because we're feeling like something outside of ourselves is coming to save us. And for more information, you can go to my YouTube page, Namaste Thug. And if you like what I'm saying, it makes sense, you want to do that inner work, that shadow work, releasing that lower vibration, it's easy. You can go to my website, set up a free consultation, namastethug.com, and see if my services work for you. In the meanwhile, breathe in your nostrils and out your nostrils and release that fear complex. Get out of that amygdala that deals with trauma and get that prefrontal cortex that deals with clarity, choice making, and it balances both hemispheres of your brain. Remember, your wellness is your breath. Peace.